Hello and welcome to my channel where I talk about books and bricks and anything that takes me fancy, frankly. These are my top 10 books of 2025, my top 5 Lego builds of 2025, and my plans for 2026, which are very loose, very loosey juicy. Do you know what I mean? Because, because that's what I feel like doing. Anyway, let me get comfy. So I bought myself a little microphone because my voice keeps going. So hopefully you can hear me all right. We're going to run through my first 10 books first. I hope you had a lovely Christmas and New Year. It was quiet for me, so I was on my own, although I was on the phone all day on Christmas Day to various people from around the world and my family, which was lovely. But I was on my own, obviously. It's the second Christmas without my lovely husband. And so it's a bit weird. And New Year's odd, when you lose people because you're going into a new year, they're never going to be in. So it's just a bit sad and a bit weird. But anyway, apart from that, all is good. I have got all of these books, by the way, in physical form, but because my bookcases are in a bit of a mess at the moment, and the whole of the back of my chair is full of Lego, I can't get to them. So I'm just going to flash pictures up. Hope that's okay. So first book, not in any particular order. I might pick a favourite from them, but actually these are all, I loved all of these books last year. The first one was one of the last ones I read of the year, which was The Ferryman by Justin Cronin. Now, the Passage trilogy, which is one of my favourite trilogies of all time, if you've never read it, it's the greatest vampire trilogy you'll ever read. It's brilliant. It's vampirism as a virus. It's brilliant. This is very, very different, but still as good. His use of imagery and words and setting the scene is just fantastic. His characterizations, you really care about the people he writes about. In The Ferryman, it's all about a island, like an archipelago it is actually, called Prospera, which is set apart from the rest of the world. And you kind of think to begin with it's because it's a dystopian issue, as opposed to apocalyptic. The Prosperans live in absolute luxury and have everything provided for them. And when they get to a certain age, that can be when they're over 100 years old, they start to break down, their bodies break down, or their minds break down. They get retired and sent to another island that's called the Nursery. And there their memories are wiped and they are sent back again as teenagers to come into another family and live again. The Prosperans can't have their own children. And then on the other side of the island is the people who do all the work. Those are the people who take care of the Prosperans, and they live a very different life, which is basically servitude, and they can have families. And there's one man called Proctor who is a ferryman, and he's one of the people who takes the people who are at the end of their life to the ferry and makes sure that everything happens beautifully. But there's a secret on the island. It's a secret about the island that none of them know. And Proctor starts to remember things he shouldn't. Starts to remember a life he can't remember because they should have wiped that. And it turns into something completely different. It is a sci-fi fantasy thriller, and it is absolutely sensational and pulled me right out of a reading slump. I couldn't put it down. And I have a lovely Waterstone special edition of this book. It's gorgeous. Brilliant book. 5-star read. The next lot, it would be a series. I'm going to put them all the way around here. The Dead Awake series by Robbie Litsky. I was very lucky enough to be on his ARC team for this last year. And this is a new take on zombies. It's about a very English town called Egglemoor. And one day, people who go to sleep wake up and they're zombies. They're the undead. Nobody knows why. As long as you don't fall asleep after you've been bitten, then you don't turn into a zombie. You've got to stay awake, which itself is a torture, right? This follows 8 people, 8 characters. Each chapter is their story as you go through what happens in Egglemoor, how society breaks down, how everything just falls to pieces. The military's involved, and there's this very shady scientific laboratory called Lifelong, who's got something to do with what's happened. Of course, the original people who were infected, they were bitten. How did they get this? So again, brilliant, high octane, action packed, fast paced thriller. There's 6 books in the series. They're not all long. There's probably a couple of 100 pages each one, and it's just brilliant. You will love some of the characters. You'll be cheering them on. You'll be devastated. You'll be heartbroken. You'll hate some of them. But I mean, it's just sensational. Absolutely loved it. The whole series was 5-star for me. Some of the individual books were 4, but absolutely brilliant, worth doing. They're all on, I think they're all on KU. So if you want to try them out, have a go. The next one is my favourite sci-fi of the year, Europa by Grieg. I think it's Grieg Beck. This was a random choice from my KU recommendations. He writes a lot of archaeological mysteries. This one is about a team of scientists who were sent to Jupiter's moon, Europa, because somebody had been there previously, and they found out that although the surface is completely frozen, underneath there's fresh water, well, a sea basically, and there could be life in there, and something is glimpsed on the first trip. So this whole team gets sent there, and they find out that actually there's some things there that they don't want to take back to Earth. It's absolutely brilliant. It's such a good sci-fi. It's also such a good thriller. I mean, it's just absolutely loved this, and it was just a really off chance. Oh, I fancy that, because the cover, as you can see, is like an astronaut with something else in the visor. I'm losing my voice again. Can you tell tonight? I hope you can hear me. How this is helping. Right. So yeah, absolutely worth a read, and on KU. The next one is Gorman's House by T.T. Madden. I was sent an hard copy of this by Maddox Media as part of their Totally Free series. I love this. They're all nostalgic, set in the 80s and 90s. This is set in 1999 on Halloween night, and it's a group of teenagers who go to a world-renowned house that moves locations called Gorman's House, but it's something more than they realise, and the house doesn't want to let them go, and it turns into kind of like it's labyrinthine inside, and all these weird things going on. Absolutely brilliant story. Absolutely loved it, and it's such a nostalgic hit with the 90s references, and the book is the size of what the whole Point Horror used to be, and so it's just like a little sweet. It's up there actually. It's right behind me. But I could grab it, I suppose. Anyway, but yeah, fantastic cover. The covers are designed by Joey Powell, who's one of the owners of Maddox Media. Brilliant. The next one, The Trouble with Faith and Other Stories by Marcus Hawk. It's no secret that Miracle Sin by Marcus Hawk is one of my favourite books of all time. I love it. It's about a chosen one who joins a religious army to fight the supernatural. And there's witches and vampires and ghosts and supernatural shenanigans in that book, which is like the lore of the world. This is a series of short stories that I was very fortunate to beta read for Marcus. So I read all these first draft, and it's the different stories of them going on different missions, and it also has Easter eggs in there from the first book. So you follow on. It's a follow on. It's a sequel, but this is a lot more kind of, for instance, there's one story in there where they go to this town where they've seen the chupacabra, and then they find a family that's like a cult. I mean, it's just, and there's witches and cryptids and ghosts and very weird shenanigans going on with an octopus. I mean, it's just brilliant. There's a story in here called Murder at the Zoo Morgue, which is about a zoo that badly treats the animals, that literally broke my heart. But great turn at the end. So brilliant, absolutely. Every story, loved it, and it continues on the story of the Miracle Sin if you've read that. So yeah, brilliant, loved it. Love Marcus anyway. Next, Killer Vocals 2 by Alan Shivers. Obviously, Killer Vocals. Hang on, let me have a little drink, see if that helps. It's my medication, it takes my voice, it's very annoying. So Killer Vocals was about a worldwide competition, international competition to find an international girl group that took place this isolated mansion and turns into a slasher-tastic time. This is a continuation of this, where the survivors from the first are taken deep underground under the chateau, and they have to take part in what is essentially kind of like um, Squid Games, Squid Games slash Traitors slash any kind of game you can think of where the stakes are you live or you die. It also goes more into the mythology of what's happening, and it's just brilliant. Again, I'll be to read for Alan, and I read this in first draft, and it's brilliant. It's just such a brilliant story, so unique. It still has that slasher. It still gives that slasher feel. Do you know what I mean? So, but so much more than that. It's like he takes the slasher genre and just subverts it in ways you don't expect. It's so good. So yeah, this is the second one. The third one, I think he says the third one's due to come to me as a beta soon. So I'm looking forward to finishing the trilogy. Next, two books by the same author, Fragments and what's it called? Beyond the Smoke and Shadow. So I'm going to remember then, by Catriona Mowat. Kat is a very good friend of mine, and I read these for her before they were published too, and they are just it's her first two books as a debut author, and these are just incredible, pure gothic vibes. Fragments is about this performer at the Theatre Royal who goes missing, and years later, that's one timeline, what happened there, and then years later in modern time, that was in 1774, I believe, modern times, there's a woman who becomes a playwright at the the rebuilt Theatre Royal, because when that woman went missing, the place was burnt down. And she starts hearing voices, things start happening. She starts to see the ghost of that woman, and she tells her story, but it's not all that you see. It's got pure gaslight, gothic vibes. It's just delicious. Her writing is really sumptuous. It's not overly descriptive, but it creates a wonderful atmosphere. So absolutely brilliant. Beyond Smoke and Shadows is a collection of her short stories and poems. Brilliant. The first story in this, which is about an underground world that's been locked down for years underneath Edinburgh, is sensational. I mean, just sensational. And but there's lots here. There's not only ghosts and plague doctors, and there's oh my god, there's so much in there. There's a bit of sci-fi, there's a bit of supernatural, there's a bit of there's all different genres of horror. It's just brilliant. It lays out the talent she has for writing a story, a really good story, and each story. I think they're at the end. There's a poem at the end of each story related to that story. Absolutely brilliant. Another one you should check out. And not just because she's my friend, because if I didn't like it, I'd tell her. So that's good. The next one, The Hair by David Sodergren. This was my first book by David Sodergren, and it had been recommended to me by most of the people in horror, and I loved this. It's set in a small, I think it's a Cornish village, and this widow is trying to be pushed out by this developer who wants to develop where they live. And one day when she's walking on the beach, she finds something, a creature, and she rescues it. It turns out to be far more than she expected. This is very gory and also incredibly touching. Who could believe two things could be the same? So yeah, absolutely brilliant. This is on KU. Grab it, grab it. It's not a long book, about 260 pages. It's absolutely brilliant story. Next, two books actually, because it's a duology: The Dalagut Dream Department Store and Return to the Dalagut Dream Department Store by Mei Lee. This is a Korean translation. The covers are stunningly beautiful. They're shiny and so colourful. And honestly, that was the reason I picked them up, if I'm honest. And they are just brilliant. And it's about a world inside our subconscious. It's a dream world. And it's run as a industry where people from the real world go into this world to buy dreams. And the Gallagher Dream Department Store is the premier place where people buy dreams. So they buy dreams, they take it away, and they dream. And then the department store gets paid in the emotions that it evokes. And there's like these magnificent superstars who are the dream makers who make the dreams. It's kind of like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but for dreams. It's just beautiful. It's like a big cozy hug. It's just the most gorgeous story. The imagery in it is just mesmerizing. It's just beautiful. Absolutely loved it. Very sad it ended, to be honest. But yeah, so those two definitely worth. I had a bit of a run this year on Korean and Japanese fiction. I really love translated fiction. And one of my favourite authors I picked up was Otsuchi. I put Zoo up here, but also Goth, which was the first novel he wrote, which is about a girl who lives in a town that's basically attracts serial killers. It's brilliant. This is his collection of short stories, and like a lot of Japanese and Korean fiction, it's very dark. It's like dark fantasy, and some of the stories in this are really, really dark. The first one is about a passport. It's called Passport Photo. It's about this person who keeps getting a passport photo of a body that's slowly decomposing, and it's not what you think. I mean, it's just brilliant. It's very hard to get hold of. I bought this second hand from eBay. I do think they've got it on Kindle now, though, but it's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely worth reading. I love a short story collection. By the same token, Uketsu, I believe he's Japanese too, could be Korean, I'm not sure. Strange Pictures, Strange Houses. This is incredible. It's like a murder mystery puzzle. So it starts off with this person finds a picture and it's a bit weird, and the story's told as they try and unravel what this picture's trying to say, and you learn along with them. It's like a gigantic puzzle. I can't even explain how good this is. That's the picture one. The houses one is the same thing. Somebody finds a floor map of a house and there's a hidden part of it and they don't know why, and so the story unravels about why that is and goes back into this old tradition in a family. I mean, it's just, I still keep thinking about these books. They're just exceptional. Anyway, so get them. And then my favourite would be Nerve Endings. This is my favourite by Keelan Patrick Burke this year was Nerve Endings, which is his collection, his new collection of short stories. They're all kind of set your nerves on edge. You know what I mean? They're a bit kind of, oh, hang on, what's happening? What's going on? And which he does so well. Also, Cottonmouth came out this year, which was the prequel to Kin. It was originally released as part of a special edition of Kin, which I have, excuse me. And so that's also excellent. But I wanted to put this one on because I just think he's so underrated. His short storytelling is very underrated. He's such a great teller of stories, and every one of these is brilliant. So really enjoyed it. I'm going to have to go and get a drink because you're not going to be able to hear me. I'll be back forthwith. I'm not sure that's helped really, but we'll see. So that was my top 10 books. If I had to pick a favourite, oh, I can't. I loved them all. They were all 5-star reads to me. So I'm not going to pick one. But those are my top 10. Top 5 Lego builds. Now, I only started getting obsessed with Lego in May last year. I've got such an itchy nose. What's going on? Lego in May last year because my sister and her wife had bought me the Books of My Passion set, which was a GWP I really wanted. And I started building it, man. I haven't played with Lego since I was a child. And I became addicted. Since then, I've got 2.5 bookshelves full of Lego. It's an obsession, my friends. My t-shirt even says, I don't need therapy. I just need to build Lego. Okay. It was a present from my sister-in-law. So my top 5. I've taken pictures because I'm not going to take them off the shelf in case I drop them. I'm not very game, you know. So the first one, of course, is Books of My Passion. I love this build. I built it on a May evening when I was watching the musical special on BBC One. That's how much I remember, right? It was on for like 2 hours where it goes and showcases the musicals, and I built this during that time. I loved it. I added a few details myself. You can see there's a little cat on top. I added that. I changed the colour of the hair so it was more me because the original colour was brown. So I added that. But yeah, it's a lovely little build. I absolutely love it. They should make more book things, in my opinion. um, my second favourite build was Up House, which I just loved this. It was so pretty. It was so easy to do. It was reasonably priced. It looks so lovely on my shelf. And it's just really colourful and fun. It's right next door to the Encanto house, which I loved all the builds. I mean, I'm picking my five, you know. I mean, I love this Sherlock Holmes book nook, which is behind me over here, in it. They just love that too. That could easily be in my top. They could all be in my top five, but I had to choose. So we're going to go with Up House. Then the third one, is it not in any order particularly, is Hey Hey. I love this build, and he looks just like him, doesn't it? I just think he's so cute. It was a lovely build. It was lovely to do. I loved all the different colours. Looks gorgeous on the shelf, and my cat actually knocked it off the shelf the other day, and surprisingly easy to rebuild. So there's that. Love it. My fourth one would be the Goonies ship. I love this build. So much nostalgia, just so many little Easter eggs to the movie. The minifigures are fantastic. The build is really good fun. I mean, it was just I loved it. I loved it. I love the way Sloth and Chunk can slide down the mast. I just brilliant, brilliant playset. It's brilliant. Loved it. And then one of my favourite ones of the year actually is this one, 3-in-1 typewriter. I love the 3-in-1 creator sets, and this one was one of the first ones I did from that series, and I absolutely loved it. It was such a fun build, and it's such a pretty set. It's so pretty, isn't it? Love it. So there you have it. Top 10 books, my top 5 Lego builds. And so then I suppose I got on to what my plans are for 2026. This is the thing people do, isn't it? My plan pretty much is to read and build Lego, basically. But what I'm planning on doing, because this is a YouTube video, obviously, and I don't have many followers on YouTube, and often I think I'm speaking to the void, and I probably am, but I quite enjoy it, so it's fine. I'm planning on releasing a video once a week on a Friday, or a Wednesday. I might do Wednesday. This will be Friday today, but I think I'm going to do Wednesday because it's midweek. That's my plan. But I'm not going to put any pressure on myself if I don't feel like doing it or I've got nothing to talk about. Um, because I'm not in this for the followers and likes. You know what I mean? I'm not. It's nice if people watch me and they like what I do and you know that makes them smile. That's lovely. But you know, this is just fun for me. This is a bit of fun. So yeah. So I'm planning on releasing a video once on a Wednesday. And it'll be about my life, which is pretty boring as a now retired widow. So that might not be interesting for a lot of people. I don't go out very much. Can't really because I'm disabled. But it'll be me chatting about the books I'm reading, the Lego I'm building, and what's going on in my life. Where did I get to? No. I'm going to read what I want, and I'm not going to set a TBR. I always used to set a specific TBR, which enabled me to get my physical TBR and my Kindle TBR down. I don't do that. I haven't done that since I lost my husband. I'll read what I want when I feel like it, and I'll completely mood read, which is complete 180 from what I've always read in my life. So, but I'm enjoying it, and I'll pick up what I want to read, and I'll read what I want, and I'll DNF if I don't like it very quickly. I've also got more lethal about hanging on to books. So if I read something and it was all right, then I'm going to get rid of it. I'll pass it on or take it down the charity shop. Because I'm not going to read it again. I'm only keeping books that I actually want to keep, or that I really, really loved, that I'm hoping to reread. And some of them I do reread. I mean, like behind me is all the Terry Pratchett books, and I'll reread them constantly, which is why they're falling apart, to be honest. I'm backing away from taking so many arcs. I read 211 books last year, and 68 of them were arcs. And it's just too much. It's just too much because they usually have a timeline, and sometimes I don't feel like reading. Sometimes I feel like building Lego. Sometimes I don't feel like doing anything. So I'm only going to take arcs from authors that I already arc for. I only beta read for a couple of people, and I will continue to do that because that's more of a first draft kind of giving my opinions and continuity and stuff. I'll only arc read for authors I've already arc read for, and if I liked what I was reading, because I don't negatively review overly. I mean, I'll say if I don't like something or something wasn't what I expected, but I won't trash an author because what I don't like, somebody else might love, and it's so subjective, isn't it? So I generally, if I will never star less than 3 stars, because less than 3 stars, I've DNF'd the book. I haven't read it, and I don't review anything I DNF because that's not fair. So yeah, less arcs. Certainly, I've closed down my arc list on my other socials on Instagram and TikTok, which is where the majority of my followers are. I'm going to start doing short form videos of my Lego builds. When it's a big one, and then I'll do a big one like this. But my little ones I'll just do as and when I feel like it. So books and bricks will continue. But apart from that, I'm just going to do what I want. I'm going to make what I want, and I'm going to release what I want. And if people like it, they do. And if they don't, then they don't. And I'm not going to worry about it. I've met some wonderful, wonderful people, especially in the book community and now also in the AFOL Lego community. And I would never have met them without social media. And because I live on my own and I'm on my own the majority of the time, it's my community and I absolutely love it. And if you're in my community, welcome. This is a very safe part of the internet. I don't tolerate any kind of bullying, any kind of injustice, anything like that. If you're here, you're safe. And that's what I have received myself from the book community, especially the Lego community is fairly new. And that's what I want to foster here. So if you want to join in and subscribe and like if you fancy it. And if you don't, that's fine too. Hope you find what you're looking for and have a wonderful life. But for now, that's me done, and Happy New Year, my darlings. Hope it's a great one for us all. Bye for now.